Hey, what's going on, family and friends? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm shifting gears from my typical content and regimen, broadcasting exclusive interviews live from conferences all around the world to speak on something that I've personally been dealing with right alongside many of you tuning in. Today, I want to talk about my former employer, Linqto, which recently and voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas on July 7th. You can read all of this for yourself on their website at linqto.com. And I quote, "Following careful consideration by the Linqto management team, the board of directors, and our outside advisors, Linqto has voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 proceedings in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas. Although trading on the Linqto platform is paused, we expect to continue business operations throughout the Chapter 11 proceedings." I recommend clicking the Learn More button to access the case related to Linqto Texas LLC. There you'll find docket filings, claim documents, key records, and more. Food for thought, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, also known as reorganization bankruptcy, allows businesses to restructure their debts while continuing to operate. Now, does that sound like it's the end for Linqto? I don't think so. But why would Linqto be undergoing a Chapter 11 restructuring? Is it because of moving the company to Texas before filing the bankruptcy? Or is it really because of the alleged wrongdoings by prior management, as recent press releases state? Or does this rabbit hole go even deeper? The Epiq platform lists the following entities as debtors: Linqto Inc., the company; Linqto Liquid Shares LLC, the company listed on the cap table of all Linqto portfolio companies; Linqto Liquid Shares Manager LLC, the SPV manager; and Linqto Texas LLC, an entity which I've personally never even heard of until the bankruptcy. Does this have to do with how the products were sold to the market or Linqto's licensing in general? I have no idea. Linqto did bring on a new executive named Sean Bowden, the new CEO of Linqto Capital, a Linqto entity founded in 2021, according to BrokerCheck, a company which isn't listed as one of the debtors in the Linqto bankruptcy. Now let's talk about Epiq, the interface that you can interact with should you want to learn more about the bankruptcy case, review additional documents, including a pathway to file your very own claim today. Epiq is usually brought in to support high-profile, complex bankruptcy cases like Linqto's, especially in jurisdictions like the Southern District of Texas, which has become a go-to hub for corporate restructuring. Here's why I believe Epiq is involved. Epiq is a global legal technology firm founded in 1988. Coincidentally, 1988 is the same year David Schwartz, the current CTO of Ripple, filed a patent for a multi-level distributed computer system involving a network of computers working cooperatively to process data. I'm not saying that they're related, but timing is everything. And David did work for the NSA. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse recently came out and stated that apart from Linqto being a shareholder, Ripple's never had a business relationship with Linqto, nor have they ever participated in our financing rounds. Brad, that's because Linqto secured more than 4 million Ripple shares, equating to 3% of Ripple's total equity in the secondary market, not in the primary market. That means that they're buying shares not directly from Ripple, but from Ripple employees, early investors, and possibly C-suite executives. Anyways, back to Epiq. Epiq is an expert in managing creditor communications, administering claims, and providing court-compliant digital infrastructure. They're trusted by the courts to ensure transparency, compliance, and efficient processes. And remember, now that Linqto's filed for Chapter 11, this process is fully public at the federal level. That's likely one reason why the Department of Justice has been willing to engage with me directly. And you're damn right that I've expressed interest in joining the creditors committee to represent our global Linqto family to be a part of the discussions that really matter. But what's added even more confusion and salt to the wound are Linqto's recent communications found on their website admitting that the special purpose vehicles, the SPVs, tethering us to the underlying equities are structurally flawed. That means we may not legally own the equivalent shares we thought we purchased on the Linqto platform, which is why filing a claim through Epiq might be the very trigger to begin the process of your most preferred legal outcome. And remember, Linqto's issued press releases affirming that the underlying assets, the shares that they invested in prior to offering them on the platform, are secure, and they were audited by multiple third-party auditing services. So the assets are there, but is the legal pathway to actually take possession of them there? That's where things appear to be uncertain and broken, and now I've got to do what's in the best interest of me and my family. I personally believe the new management, led by Dan Siciliano and his Ivy League caliber team, are genuinely trying to do what's legally right and capable throughout this restructuring process. I don't believe that they're trying to steal customer funds, but let's be real, their primary fiduciary duty is linked to shareholders. So here's the question: do you have your own best interests in mind? In this world of self-directed investing, are you taking the same level of initiative now that you did when you made your first investment on the platform? Are you flipping over every rock to protect your hard-earned liquidity? Now listen, I'm not giving any legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, but thankfully, I work closely with several who are and are well-versed in these matters. That's why I've already taken the steps to protect my interests as a creditor in the Linqto bankruptcy process, not just as a former employee who's exercised stock options, but also as someone who's dropped my life savings into the Linqto platform. I'm talking about 6 figures after liquidating my 401k, converting it into XRP, and putting it all to work on the Linqto platform. So believe me when I say I've got skin in the game. I'm battling in the trenches right alongside many of you. And due to my prior employment with Linqto, there are NDAs involved, so I really can't speak beyond to what I've done to protect my position as an accredited investor. And even though Linqto's navigating some dark times, I still hold my optimism that we'll be winning again soon, either by securing our shares just as we expected on a one-to-one basis, or at the very least, receiving fair market value for our investments, and hopefully some more hair on our head for all the stress. It's wild. Linqto was literally preparing for an IPO just a few months ago, and now fast forward to today, they're on the verge of shutting down. This situation is absolutely heartbreaking. And to anyone and everyone dealing with this fallout, I'm truly sorry. The silver lining, and to the best of my knowledge, is this type of bankruptcy has never happened before. This was a self-reported and arguably a self-inflicted filing, forcing the US legal system to not only take notice, but to take action. So we may be on the verge of something even more profound. And let's not forget, Linqto the company didn't technically own the assets. Those were placed in bankruptcy remote entities, to the best of my understanding. Which is why this situation with Linqto in the bankruptcy courts has got to be unique in some respect, at least to the structures of the SPVs, the amount of assets, liquidity, the amount of people involved. This is not just US based, this is worldwide. So once again, stand your ground, my Linqto family. Ignore the FUD. Subscribe to the docket alerts via Epiq to stay up to date. File your claims today if that makes the most sense for your current situation. Here's the reservation of rights document that I personally drafted using ChatGPT and submitted with all of my claims. So again, this is not legal advice. I'm in no way a practicing securities lawyer. I'm just sharing the decisions that I've personally made for myself on my very own self-directed investment journey. And with that being said, thank you for sharing your time with me, but more importantly, thank you for entrusting Linqto with your investments. I'm right here with you. Love you mucho.